Jill Biden, his wife, who seems like a lovely woman, just had a talk. I don't know where it was in New Hampshire, but Jill Biden basically told a crowd somewhere in New Hampshire, "Hey, you might not like my husband, but just do the right thing and vote for him." I'm not kidding. This is what she had to say. Let's play the clip.
I know that not all of you are committed to my husband, and I respect that. Your candidate might be better on, I don't know, health care than Joe is. But you've got to look at who's going to win this election. And maybe you have to swallow a little bit and say, okay, I sort of personally like so-and-so better. But your bottom line has to be that we have to beat Trump.
So, David, you have to swallow it and vote for Biden. I mean, is that the sign of a hot campaign, one that's really attracting voters here?
Yeah. Good morning, Jim. So I think it was a unusual but refreshingly honest take on what's going on here. The campaign that Vice President Biden is running, as articulated by his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, is that this is the guy who can best beat Trump. He may not be your first choice, but your first choice is beating Trump. Her speaking to Democratic voters.
I don't even know what to say to that. That is the quintessential. That's not even eat your broccoli. That's like just eat the burnt rubber in front of you, because it might end up better than...
Because you might go hungry.
Right. And you want to know something? Like, what's unbelievable to me, Hillary Clinton was leading in all the polls in 2016 at this point. It's, there's been plenty of, Hillary Clinton was leading Barack Obama at this point, and other candidates at that point, 2007. So they're writing it like it's etched in stone that Joe Biden's the only one. I mean, we've just showed you there's plenty of other candidates right now. Almost every one of the top candidates are beating Trump head to head. So I don't get where this notion comes. Well, it's a propaganda. They're pushing it with propaganda that Joe Biden is just the only one that could defeat Donald Trump. It is very early in the process, and Jill Biden is basically conceding that other candidates have more of a vision than Joe Biden on things like healthcare, which was the number one issue in the midterm elections. And I would venture to think is going to be the number 1 or 2 issue, if there's not a recession, in the 2020 election. I mean, if that's your endorsement from the woman you sleep next to at night, that is really, really scary. And I don't say this as somebody who supports Bernie Sanders. I say this as someone who really would like to defeat Donald Trump. I don't know for the life of me why they are trying to drag Joe Biden and push him down your throat. Not just progressives, but all Democrats or independents. Like, this is the only way we could defeat this stain on humanity. It is not the only way. It is a key way you can reelect Donald Trump, because they're not giving you the context of all the vulnerabilities Joe Biden has in the key states that are going to decide this election. Right. We have not seen this record. We have not listened to this record before. There was no recent history of basically the party, the media telling you, don't believe the big crowds Bernie Sanders is getting. Throw in Elizabeth Warren at this point, not my cup of tea, but she did get 12,000 people last night. Don't believe crowd size, don't believe enthusiasm, don't believe the small dollar engine, don't believe that younger people are way more attracted to Bernie Sanders, that he has a more diverse coalition. Don't believe it. This is the only way to defeat Donald Trump. The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And frankly, I got news for you. This is not talked about much. If Donald Trump would have ran in 2012 against President Obama, he might have beaten President Obama. Mitt Romney was close. He had a great first debate performance against Obama. The problem is, then a tape came out where he basically said half of the country are a bunch of moochers, and it sank his campaign. Telling the voters to basically, now's not the time for, enthusiasm. Now's not the time for the revolution. Sometimes you just got to do your chores, to get a treat in the end. This is not, in 2019, in the social media era, in an era where young people are getting more and more into politics, this is not a strategy for victory, folks. This is a strategy for apathy. This is a strategy for complacency. This is a strategy for a huge letdown on election night. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.